It's how the law works. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country that came through the front door and did it the right way. But it's not a nation founded on the rule of law if those same laws aren't applied evenly to everybody. And so that's why I'm in this race, to restore two basic ideas in our country. The people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government. And the moral duty that they owe is to the citizens of this country, not another one. It's not a black idea or a white idea. It's not even a Democrat idea or a Republican idea, not really. These are American ideals that we fought a revolution to secure. I believe those ideals still exist. And I think we live in a 1776 moment right now. I see a number of young people today. Thomas Jefferson was 33 when he wrote the Declaration. He invented the swivel chair while he was at it. That's the founding spirit we need to revive. We are the unafraid, the explorers, those who would not be stopped by any other government standing in our way. Those ideals enshrined in our Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what this country was founded on. And today our inner animal spirit, it has been domesticated, it has been tamed, it has been whipped into submission by this new culture that penalizes excellence and celebrates victimhood. Our culture of excellence has leapt oceans to lift up places like China, while their culture of victimhood has come all the way back here to hold us down. When we rallied behind the cry to make America great again, we didn't just hunger for a single man. We hungered for the unapologetic pursuit of excellence. That's what this country was founded on. That's what we're going to revive. My obligation to the next generation is to make sure you don't grow up with $200,000 of somebody else's debt on your shoulders that you didn't sign up for, and you don't have somebody else's gun over your shoulders in somebody else's trench fighting somebody else's war. That's what you should require of your leaders and of your president. So if you all do your part in the next couple of days, I promise you, my family and I and our team and our movement, we're going to do ours to make sure, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, make sure that our country's best days are actually still ahead of us. So I want to open this up, guys. Thank you for coming out. Let's open this up and have an open conversation. Thank you. I sit across the table from Xi Jinping in about 18 months, and so give me a couple hard ones before we head out today.
Well, I have a hard one.
Yeah, sure. Sure. We'll start with you, Steve.
Okay. No, I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
I've never asked you this before, so this is real-time stuff, folks.
Yeah.
And that is that if a company had a banner on their website that said, notice, we're proud that we comply with all regulations, and we want the world to know that, do you think they would survive very long before the regulators came in upon them?
No, actually. And I think that's exactly what's wrong with and you said it right, it's not the congressmen coming down on them. It's not the senators, it's the regulators. The regulators are basically making up the law as they go along. That's not something our founding fathers envisioned. There's 3 branches of government in the United States: executive, legislative, judicial. There is no such thing as a 4th branch, that administrative state, that deep state. That's a fiction that we've created in this country, and yet the people who are actually writing the rules, they're just making up on the fly. Normally, if you don't like the rules, you get to vote them out. That's how our country's supposed to work. It doesn't work that way for the unelected bureaucrats. And so there's one thing I get done as your next president. And you've seen what this looks like, but the devolution of it. If there's one thing I get done as your next president, one war that I will wage, it's not some pointless foreign war abroad. It is the war on our own shadow government right here at home. And if we do that, that's how we grow our economy. That's how we restore the lifeblood of our republic and end this corruption that we've walked our way into. Sir.
This is a very particular question, and I doubt that you would have a thought-out policy on it. But as I've been driving around today, I've seen the POW-MAA flag a couple times. And more than any other country, this one has expended resources to find the remains of its missing in action for World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Of course, as time goes by, those remains are harder and harder to find, and very, very expensive. So that, one recovery might cost a few $1 million, or that might be So on the one hand, there's the ideal of leaving no service member behind. On the other hand, there's the fact of the $33 trillion debt. And so I wouldn't expect that you would have a specific policy about the continuation of that effort to find the missing. But given our debt, what would your general disposition be?
Yeah, so I think we got to honor the spirit of it. But what I would say is, I haven't been asked this question before. I haven't had a chance to think about it. But I'll give you my gut instinct. First, let's honor the fact that we are a country that has taken the effort, at least. It gets much more expensive over time. But at least even in those initial years, we're a unique country that says, these veterans fought and served the United States of America. We stand for them. But now what do I see with our veterans is we're not actually taking care of the ones who are alive and with us. And even the ones who did die and fight for this country, if there's one thing I know, it's that they would want a country that still takes care of the people who served alongside them, not the way that we are right now. Many veterans, 40 per day, close to 40 per day, are committing suicide. And so rather than necessarily worrying about, and I think I will show respect at every step of the way, veterans in the graveyard, let's not put more veterans in the graveyard, which is what we're doing right now. And so in spirit, let's commemorate everybody whose remains weren't found. But to take the money that we would have had excavating them, to say they're going to put them in the actual protection and respect paid to their brothers and sisters who are with us, who are not respecting today. 40 veterans a day committing suicide, many more using fentanyl. Let's actually have some basic reforms of our VA system. What I've said is we need paid decompression buffers. If you're coming from foreign war in an armed conflict situation, we need to make sure that you get a 6-week paid decompression buffer before you're thrust back into civilian life. Privacy restrictions to be able to report your PTSD. Veterans would report their PTSD more, post-traumatic stress disorder, if they had the privacy restrictions that didn't have them fearful of being tagged with the red flag law. Same thing with respect to having the driving distance. Take a day like today. I'm glad you guys drove to be here. Well, we don't want to send veterans to drive 150 or 200 miles to their nearest VA. They should be able to get community-based medical care right where they are, period. And I think that those are basic changes we can do to stand for our veterans now. Will some of that cost more money? Yes, it will. I don't think veterans benefits or active duty military compensation should be subject to federal taxation. Why are we taxing what we pay our veterans? And so those basic changes are how we actually respect our veterans as a whole, while at a certain point commemorating all those whose remains have not been recovered, but to say that this is still how we commemorate their legacy and their service to this country, by respecting those who have served this country, who are struggling today, who shouldn't be. That'd be my answer to that question. I appreciate that. Thank you. We'll take a couple more questions before we wrap. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. See you the next time.
And do not believe that the two-party system is an actual democracy. And coming from this, I'm originally from South Africa, naturalized citizen, so I was a legal resident for 7 years and went through naturalization. But, and as you pointed out, that your theory on Nikki Haley being a way to get the end goal without being able to get rid of Trump.
Yep.
How do we move forward and get away from this controlled two-party system that isn't really offering us good candidates because it's all rigged?
Well, I think I agree with the last part. It is all rigged. Close to it. But we can't just be victims. We have to be victorious. And so I've been transparent about this. I'm using the Republican Party as a vehicle to advance a pro-American agenda. I've been in rooms across this country. I've been to places like the south side of Chicago where traditional Republican candidates don't necessarily go. Had some interesting findings there. One of the things I learned is that they agree with my border policies every bit as much as grassroots conservatives here in Iowa do. You want to know why? Because they're converting South Shore High School on the south side of Chicago into an encampment for migrants. $7,000 per migrant per month, and people in that community are rightly asking, well, what the heck about me? I'm right here and I'm American. They're in favor of ending the war in Ukraine, just as I am. Why are we forking $200 billion over to Ukraine? So some corrupt bureaucrat gets to pocket that money when I'm sitting right here as an American. So I'm an America First patriot, conservative, who is using the Republican Party as a vessel in a two-party system. And I think it's easy to fall into the temptation of thinking that, if we had the structural fix, then maybe we'd have all the problems solved. Man, my parents were immigrants from India. India has a multi-party system. And there's a lot of things every bit as broken there and some a lot more than in the United States. I think the deeper problem is we've become a nation of sheep, actually. It's not about the system alone. It's about us. We're hungry for purpose and meaning and identity at a time in our history when the things that used to ground us, nonpartisan ideals like faith, patriotism, hard work, family, these things have disappeared. And that leaves a moral vacuum in our heart. And when you have a vacuum that runs that deep, that's when the poison fills the void. So it's up to us. A nation of sheep is what breeds the government of wolves, two-party system or not. And so I don't disagree with your premise there, but I think it's a bit of a siren song of a false solution to say all problems will be solved if we have multiple parties. It actually comes down to us. And so I look at this the other way. We got the two-party system. Great. I've been transparent. Now, the Republican Party establishment doesn't love me. I don't care. I'm not in this for friends in the Republican establishment. Ronna McDaniel's not my boss. I don't report to her. I report to you, the citizens of this country. This is a job interview. That's the way to look at this, and I'm the interviewee. But I think that if you approach it that way, yeah, it's a ballot access mechanism to advance an America First agenda. I think that's how we're going to win this election in a landslide. If you all make me your nominee, it's my obligation back to you to unite this country with a landslide election this November. A landslide minus some shenanigans is still a landslide. That's the truth. And you know what? That's how we're going to have to reunite this country. And it's about as ridiculous for me to say today, right now, as it would have been for Reagan to say in January of 1980. Yet, I believe that's exactly what we're going to do. It starts with this Iowa caucus. I think we're going to win on Monday. I think we're going to shock the world on Monday because a lot of our supporters aren't polled. Actually, just by the way, let's do a poll. How many of you have been polled for the Iowa caucus? Okay, how many of you participated? How many of you have participated in a poll for the Iowa caucus? One. How many of you are planning to come out on Monday night to caucus for me? Well, a good number of you. We want to get you guys out too. You 18 yet? Oh, that's partly why. Okay, that's good. How old are you? 16. 16. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming out anyway, reaching the next generation. And I think we're going to deliver shock on Monday night for the same reason I'm going to deliver your general landslide in the election, in the November election this year. And that's what it's going to take to unite this country. We have been celebrating our diversity and our differences for so long that we've forgotten all of the ways that we're the same as Americans. I always love when I hear the story of a naturalized citizen. You pass that civics test. I think every high school senior should have to pass that same civics test as well. That's a good thing for this country, for us to know something about this country, to care about this country, revive national pride in this country at a moment where we're missing it. That's half my job as your next president. Not just the policy, but reviving our national character and our sense of pride in this nation. And if we do it by speaking the hard truths, God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family isn't a bad word. It's the greatest form of governance known to mankind. Capitalism lifts us up from poverty. There's 3 branches of government in the United States, not 4. In our U.S. Constitution, it is the strongest and greatest guarantor of freedom in human history. If we stand for the truth, then yes, I will tell you that our best days are still ahead of us, that we will look our kids in the eye and mean it when we tell them you get ahead in this country with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication. And that you know what? You are free to speak your minds at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And with your help on Monday night, that's what I'm asking you for. With your help on Monday night, that's how we're going to revive this great country. Every one of you, tell 10 people in this room and in this community who couldn't be here on this snow day. Bring them out on a cold night on Monday night. Tell them to come out yourself. Spread this message to the people who couldn't be here. And if you guys do your part, Apurva and I, my family and I, Apurva's a throat surgeon. She's a hero. She saves lives every day, but she's doing this with me because it's about saving the life of this country. We're going to do ours to make sure that we get this country back. If you want to save this country, for God's sake, if you want to save Trump, the best way is to vote for me, and that's what I'm asking for on January 15th. Let's do this and seize our own 1776 moment all over again. Thank you for coming out, guys. God bless you and your families and our United States of America. We got time for a few pictures before we head out, and I'm grateful for you all coming. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. You 18 yet?
22.
22. All right. And then some. Come out on Monday night. I love you. I love your support, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your support on Monday night. Brave that cold weather. You done the Iowa caucus before? Your first time as well?
It is. I chose not to vote when I was 18.
Yeah. I actually chose not to vote for much of my 20s, mostly because I've had candidates that didn't inspire me. I still regret it. If I was to go back and do it, I would have at least made my voice heard. But that's part of what pulled me into this. I remember in my 20s what you'd say was Mitt Romney didn't move me. John Kerry to George Bush. I voted Libertarian in that one. McCain and Obama didn't move me. But I was skeptical of Trump as well, but he proved himself, and he's a good president. But now it's up to us to take that to the next level. So I'll ask you to come out on Monday night. And you too, sir. Tell me, what do you do?
Farmer.
Farmer? Where at?
Georgia Little Rock.
Nice. Were you familiar with this pipeline?
A little bit. I heard
Yeah,
about
they
it.
better not take your land to build some without your permission. I mean, they can do it if you want to sell it, or if you want to actually charge them for building it across your land. And nobody should be able to. Every man's castle, every man's home is his castle. You got to protect it accordingly, man. We got your back. Keep up the good work. What about you, sir? What do you do?
Retired, had a business 17 years, sold a couple years ago.
Congrats.
So I'm looking for the next thing.
Cool.
Drove
I'm an
down
entrepreneur
here,
as well.
see ya.
Where'd you come from?
You're a force of nature.
Thank you, man.
Southern Minnesota.
Thank you.
So
You know what
I'll
this
be your
looks
guide
like.
there when we get there.
You know what this looks like up there. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
It's a snowstorm. Thanks for coming down in the snow, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
I've been
it.
watching you religiously.
Thank you.
Social media. So
Thank you.
all the good questions have been asked.
We'll keep it flowing. You guys cable news watchers or more social media? Social media. Okay, all right. That's probably where it's at. What's your name, man?
Ryan,
Ryan, how old are you?
18.
You're 18? Okay. Come out on Monday? Thank you, man. If you guys bring people in your generation out on Monday, we're going to shock this thing. I'm telling you. Polls are all lying. They don't poll the actual people who are supporting us. You do this, we're going to rock the world. And, in a couple of years for you. But even if you can spread the word, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, guys. What about you, man? How old are you?
Almost 18.
Almost?
Yeah.
You can vote in the caucus if it's before November that you
Yeah,
turn
it
18.
is.
Yeah, good. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Good. It makes me happy to know that. Well, come out on Monday. Where do you live?
Just in the sun, Rock Rapids.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, spread the word and speak the truth, man.
Yep.
We're going to do this.
I agree.
You too, brother. I love that shirt. It's a good flag. Is that Under Armour one?
What's that?
What brand is that?
This is the Thin Blue Line.
Okay.
brand.
Oh, the thin blue. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Have you done the caucus before?
I haven't caucused before. No.
First time?
Yep.
Cool. Where you live around here to Rock Rapids?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man. Do your part, and we're excited.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We'll spread the message. Bring other young people out. We're going to do this. Absolutely, guys. We'll see you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Good to see you, sir. Spread this message. We're going to do this.
Yeah, I've already talked to some people. There's a lot of young kids that are actually
Coming out,
for you,
absolutely.
Coming out for you.
And even some of the older activists. Got to show them where this is going.
Yeah, because I saw Ron DeSantis, and he said, when I saw him, he says, well, Nikki Haley's running for her donors. I'm running for you guys, and Trump's running for his donors. It's like they wrote you off, and I'm like thinking,
Oh, we're going to
that's
shock
not-
the world.
I know
we're
we
going to shock
are.
the world, brother. You tell all the activists and everything else and get them out. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my man. Thank you. It means a lot. I know you're crushing it for us. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for asking me
Hey,
questions.
thank you. I love your support on Monday.
Yeah,
Thank
be
you.
the first time I've ever voted Republican and first time I've ever caucused. So.
Thank you. Well, I think we can shock the world, and this is how you break the system. It's in our power.
I really like your take on the whole campaign.
Yeah, we break the
Watched all
corrupt
the
system.
Instagram reels and all that. I really appreciate your approach to it.
If you bring as many people as you can,
Will
I
do.
appreciate it. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
good to see you, man.
Talk a lot about releasing energy, coal, this and that, blah, blah. But I'd like to hear you say that, all forms of energy, like
Yeah, all of the above.
renewables, 'cause,
All
like,
American energy. I favor the RFS for a reason. You know that, right?
alcohol evaporates at like 174 degrees. So we've got radiators on all kinds of stuff, and but for me, to tinker in my garage, harness that entropy of the radiator, make moonshine, if you will, just because I might get drunk off it. But alcohol's a great heating source. And
Yeah, it's kind of an overextended regulation.
Making
I agree.
things more efficient.
And I favor the RFS. You've heard me say that, right?
The what?
The RFS, the Renewable Fuel Standard, which is the minimal ethanol blend.
Right.
I favor that because I think that you have consumer choice at the pump. That I think is also
Well, I'm talking about being able to do it. in my
use it
garage.
on your own self. I understand as an
Yeah,
entrepreneur you want to do it too.
Like
You're an entrepreneur.
make batteries.
Self.
Piss to see if I could charge a cell phone if I was out in the middle of nowhere. Like to.
No, it's good. I love that spirit, man. What do you do?
Whatever. Self-employed.
Self-employed. Good for you. Fellow entrepreneur, man. Have you done the Iowa caucus before?
Nope, but I will.
I'd appreciate that, man. It's going to mean a lot to me. We're going to do this. And we got your back. If self-employed people across the country with a smart spirit like you, we got to stand for you.
Cut regulations.
Exactly. That's the one thing I'm going to do is that. Good seeing you, man.
to you,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. Where do you live, man?
Sorry.
Do you live around here?
I live in Illinois.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can make some phone
Thank
calls
you.
here for us, even.
Okay,
We
sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Bring
sure.
people out to this caucus.
Yeah.
Do this, we win the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
The gentleman has our really cool shirts on that are our shirts. We can snap a really
Okay,
quick
got it.
picture
Got
of
it.
that.
Cool. Let's do that.
That's probably the best.
Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do it. You mind if I get in the middle? Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you. Let's tighten it up. It's great. You guys mind if we post this on social? All right. Thank you. Oh, let's get one more in. Here, you come too. Come too, man. You come too, because we got to even it out. Hey. Huh? Okay, I know, but I know, but still, come on in. I would say come on in. Yeah. Came all the way from South Carolina, man.
All right, everybody, me. Thank you so much. Really cool, guys.
Let me see it. I want that one.
Yeah, isn't that a good one?
Yeah.
What do you think? Good shot?
Young guys, I love that.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Could we get one on our phones, maybe?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. If you just take one and you could share it, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Take care, and
Yeah, you too.
you get the job done for us. I'm going to get the job done for you. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to do our part. Yeah, absolutely. But in terms of just like, it's going to be a cold night. Motivate people to come out. We'll shock the world. I'm counting on you guys. Thank you. I love it. Yeah, you should. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, brother. Yep.